Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to put a furnace in. Now the first thing that you got to do is decide that the old furnace is a piece of trash and doesn't deserve to be worked on anymore. Check. You'll want a selection of tools for this, including pipe wrenches, crescent wrenches, channel locks, screwdrivers, possibly Allen wrenches, and 2 worthless dogs. Now turn the gas off and disconnect the fuel line. Disconnect your thermostat wires and remove the wires from the furnace. Remove the drain line from the furnace. After removing power from the wires going to the furnace, disconnect the power wires to the furnace. And remove them. Now remove the vents. This one's going to be trouble. It's been cemented in, so I'm just going to unbolt this flange for now and figure it out later. Unbolt the plenum to the furnace. Some of the challenges that I'm going to face is the plenum that's on this one is going to be smaller than the new one. The height of the unit is slightly different, so I'm going to have to raise the furnace up a little bit higher to meet this stuff. Likewise, I'll probably have to shorten this guy. You're also going to want some duct tape for this job, not to be confused with 100-mile-an-hour tape. That stuff's nice, but this stuff's great. It's kind of got a metal finish to it, and it just works way better for sealing your ducts up. I'll put links to a bunch of stuff that could be helpful to do this job for you down in the description. I'll remove the cold air. At this point, make sure there is nothing else connected to the furnace so you can drop it down and take it out. I've got this all unbolted, so hoping this will just come down. That'll stay right there in place. After careful reconsideration, I've decided to pull this portion of the plenum. It appears that it was pretty much pieced together anyhow, so it'll come apart in pieces because I need to lift this up a little bit to get it off the blocks and just can't do it with this in place. Remove the old furnace. Oop, don't lose those screws. Measure the old furnace compared to new. 40 inches tall, 28 deep, and about 17 5/8 wide. Open your new furnace. Don't rip the box so you can return it if you don't like it. Admire the sexiness of this new beast. Oh. Remove the front panel. See if they gave you any instructions. Look at that, we got some. Measured in a new furnace and record that. We got 34, 28, 21 1/4. Pull the cover so I can get my electricities in there. Oh, that sucks. Look at that. I have a gas line going the other direction. I need it to come out this way, so there's my first problem. I'm going to have to get this out, and it doesn't appear to have enough room to do that without removing the gas valve. So I'm going to have to pull this guy back. Now we got to do this anyhow because we're changing the burners and converting this to LP. They come set up for natural gas, and we're going to be running propane through this, so you have to put this kit in. Otherwise, you can damage the unit almost immediately if you start it up, set up for natural gas and you're running propane. Alright, so I'm just going to get these here wires off and out of the way. So pull this ground and these two. I don't think it matters, but the blue one went on top, so that's where we'll put it back. Also, gas valve's turned off. We would have ran into that later. Oh no, don't lose that screw. Yeah, we totally just lost that screw. It's stuck. The kit comes with new stainless burners to change out, a kit for setting your water pressure, and some stickers to let people know that this has been converted to LP. Here's our burners. The kit to test your water pressure, or whatever it's called. I'm no pro on this stuff. I can just figure anything out, that's all. The stickers I was talking about, and new jets as well. So those are going to have to be swapped out. Now I'll remove these burners. I'm going to try just disconnecting it, see if that drops down to where I can swap those out. We have a winner. Galvanized? I don't know. 5 pieces of trash. This kit does come equipped to do up to 6 burners. We've only got 5 in this one. So we're going to have 1 extra in case one of these ever goes flat on us. I wonder if there's a top or a bottom. But I'm going to put the shinier side up. Now we'll find out that this had to be sitting in there because I can't fit it in now. I'm going to end up pulling this other plate. I know it. I'm just going to do it. Gonna make this way easier. Weird. It's like it's meant to come out of there. It'll be fine. We'll get it in there. And now I'll pull this pipe. Once you get her to start, she's usually pretty good. Yeah, look at that. Way easier to do this out here. Now, we'll change the jets here. So, we'll remove these 5. Now we got to put this plate back on underneath our burners. Now we're going to put our gas valve back in. What you're going to want to do is just kind of hook these jets into the burners and put a couple bolts in. Well, actually all 4 of them. But if you remember, we disconnected the ground here too, so we're going to hook that back up. Our ground went right here. Now I'm going to put it underneath. Actually, you know what? We're going to put that ground in a totally different spot. We're going to put it right here. This metal's painted, so that seemed like a poor choice. Alright, now what wire went on the top? The blue one. Alright, didn't miss anything in our kit. We got our burners in. That's the test kit for it. Here's our stickers. Those can wait. Oh, an installer's guide. You can see I've gone through that already. Oh, you know what we do have to do? Where are those? Maybe they're in here. There should be a spring change on our jets. For the final part of the LB conversion, we got to change the spring in the gas valve. So up here, I've removed the cover, the adjuster screw, and I've already removed the spring. This is the new spring that needs to go in, white in color. So, new spring will pop in there. Starter screw. Now, when I removed the original, I counted the turns. It was 9.5 in. Alright, so I'll start there. And I'm going to throw the cover on the floor right now. I'm just going to leave the cover off for now because we'll probably be adjusting that. And while you were waiting for the camera to charge up, I installed the intake, the exhaust manifolds. I popped this guy in because our gas line is going to go through that. I filled this open void right here because that's going to take our drain tube. So that'll go through that and seal against that. And I don't see a great spot to bring in the thermostat wires, so I'm actually just going to bring those through there too, so everything's nice and sealed up. Also installed this grommet over here for the gas line. Now, what we have to do next is cut the hole for our cold air return. You can see these little triangle recesses in here. That's what I need to cut out. So it's set up so you can do it left or right. And we need this on the right hand side of the unit. Now this PVC up here is for the exhaust, and that was it was bellying out in the middle, so I cut that so I can get the actual pitch on it. That should be going uphill 1/4 inch per foot, and the intake air, which is up over here, I just didn't like the way that came down, so I'm going to 45 that right up there by that header and bring it over and kick it out to come back in. Now I'm going to open up the side of the furnace for the cold air intake. Now it's time to set this girl in place. So I consulted the constructions here and see that I'm supposed to bend these flanges up. What I did not find in the constructions was what I'm supposed to do over here. Alright, I've decided what I'm going to do. When I do the front piece, I'm going to leave a little extra so I can bend that out and attach it right here. I'll add this side piece in because that's going to fit for us. One of the originals. This is going to be so much fun to figure out. Now, being that the furnace is wider, this one over here is going to be longer because we came in the same spot on the right hand side here. So I'm going to have to cut this guy down some. So what I'm going to try to do here is just mark this out. So I'm actually just going to mark it on the side for the height of the furnace, and then I'll transfer that right down the outside of this so I can cut it. I transferred that line to the outside, and you'll notice that this was notched before, so I think I'm going to have to notch as well. Drawing those in, I'm not going to cut those out quite yet because I want to be 100% sure. This isn't what I do for a living. Just want to make sure I get it right. I measured those off of this, which is a piece of that will be sliding into, so that's the clearance that it's going to need. Oh, you couldn't even see it. It's all the way down there. I'm cutting. Well, I know for a fact I'm going to need this on the back side. Front side, maybe not. So I'm going to cut the back side out now. Mixing old work with new work. I'm caught on one of the old mounting holes. That sucks. It really sucks. I don't see it. Now I gotta retrieve a screwdriver. Well, I got the screwdriver back in less than 3 minutes. Extension magnet for the win. And we're gonna try a different tool this time. Now I'm going to start zipping some screws in here. That way this stuff doesn't move on me. And now comes the fun part of the front and back. We'll work on the back first. So this was the original one. But as you can see, it leaves a hole there. We could probably just cover that with some tape. That's okay, because you know what? I'll just cut it a little long, leave it flat, and then cut out what I need and bend it around. That will be just fine. I'll just slide this guy right here in the back. I'm going to leave enough to wrap right around, make sure that corner is nice and tight, and reuse those screw holes. That was certainly not my proudest work. Oh, yeah, that felt good. Not the prettiest, but it'll do. It's real quick. We'll cover that up so nobody sees it. Now, ductwork is much like electrical work. Look at that. Factory. Now, what I do notice here is I can see all that crap too. So I guess we'll be taping the living crap out of that as well. Let's go give this a little zip, zip, zip and a cut on the other side. And we'll work on the front. So the only part left is this front piece. My height is going to be 19.5, but I want a 1-inch lip on the bottom. So I need 20.5 times 26 and then trim to fit. So I'm actually going to go 28. That way I've got an inch over on either side. So 28 by 20.5. Alright, I marked it out, but I decided I'm just going to slide this guy into this because it's like the perfect size, and do a little bendy bend. Look at that. Alright, so a little cutting and notching and all that good stuff has happened. Let's see how it fits. Appears pretty good. I attached this scoop for the cold air return Now I've got to cut 5.5 inches out of the run that I had down here before. Get this in place, tie it down. That was much easier than cutting it with the scissors. All right. The plan here is to get that in the bottom while sliding it in those pieces up top. So, the new plan is get it set into this and then figure out the top. I was worried about that. We look like we're about 1.5 inches off where we need to be. And the new plan is we're just going to reflash that in because we're not moving the furnace that far. So I've rerun this pipe for the exhaust. I'm going to pop this one in here. I got this all repiped in. I didn't expect to have to do that, so I'm short on a couple of those. So the cold air intake to the outside, that's going to have to wait. I'm going to have to pick up a couple more 45s. But that's there. Now I'll just be adding the gas line, hooking the wires up, black to black, white to white, green to ground. After the gas line is hooked up, we put our shutoff valve back in here. We can go ahead and test fire this thing. Okay, so I added the drain. I just put it to a bucket for right now. I've got to tie that into that line that goes out to the drain system. I hooked up the thermostat wires to the bottom of the circuit board over there. I wired in the unit itself. Power is off on that switch right now. So the gas line is in to the valve back here. And we are ready to test fire this. Now we'll test our connections for leaks. On there. Got one right there. Well, we gotta fix that quick. Looks like it's coming right out the side of this thing. Alright, well, we're gonna need a new one of those. And in the meantime, I will change it to another fitting. Change that fitting. Let's see if we're good now. Perfect, no leaks anywhere. Okay, let's see if this thing fires up. Now I know the pressure coming in is good. This is LP, so we're looking for 10 to 11 inches of water column. If it was natural gas, we'd be looking for 7 inches of water column. So I know the input is okay, you check that right there. The output's going to be over here, and I'm going to test that. So the first thing I'm going to do is go turn the call off from the thermostat right now. Then I'm going to pull that set screw out so we can hook our manometer up to it. Fan's still running, it will for a moment until the box cools down. But I can pull this and no gas should come out of here. We got to hook the manometer up. If you've got cups like this, you should be able to just slide this over, provided there's enough room next to this coil. That one seems like it's a little bit of a struggle. I'm going to add this little tube, and I'll use this fitting that came with the kit instead. Now I will go call the furnace back in, and we'll see what we got. Okay, so we're actually a hair low right now. So to adjust that, we're going to turn the screw that we left the cap off of right there in a little bit, and that'll come up. So I'm going to turn this clockwise right now, and we should see this meter go up. We can also look at our flames. Should be a nice blue without any orange. That's what we've got. We're running just below 10. I'm going to call that good. So I can go shut it back down, put the cap over the adjuster, and put the set screw back in the testing hole here. Thanks for watching. Like I said, I'll put links in the description to parts and tools that I use throughout the process. Hope you learned something. I did. First time I ever put a furnace in, but wasn't too bad.